All right, y'all, buckle up because we are getting ready for a tour around the world, which is the concept here at Traveler's Table. Matthew Mitchell, owner, operator, creator, inventor. He wears all the caps. That is the reason why you guys started the restaurant, right? Named it Traveler's Table.
Yeah.
All the dishes.
That's right. Had a background certainly in my 20s, went to school in Europe, and then was kind of traveled around the world as a writer and a journalist, and was fortunate to get exposed to lots of different cuisines. And even when I didn't feel like I spoke the language, I felt like I spoke the food somehow. And even back then kind of had this idea of somehow bringing all that to one place so we could sort of explore the world through food and drink.
Yeah, I love that. And you truly can explore around the world because there are dishes from all parts around on the menu, and they change the menu options from time to time. What's really incredible, though, is this Houston Restaurant Weeks menu that they have here at Traveler's Table. And of course, they are extending through the end of the month. Thank you so much. We're very excited about that. I say we go right to the food because there's a lot to talk about today, y'all, and hopefully discover possibly a new dish that you hadn't heard of. Let's go to the foodie cam. Already kicking things off with a beautiful dish. Matthew, tell us about it.
Sure. This is our snapper ceviche. It is, as Katie alluded, one of our new dishes that we brought out just before HRW. It's a marinated snapper, leche de tigre, so Peruvian style, ají amarillo, which is a yellow pepper, and then the normal accoutrements. We do have some watermelon and some red jalapeno and some avocado mousse, and finished off with plantain chips. So
oh my goodness.
One of the things we're big on is still giving good sized portions here for HRW. We don't want to skimp anyone. So these are normal sized portions, and you're not going to leave hungry after 3 courses for sure.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you and I were talking before the show. You're a big HRW fan as a diner.
That's
too,
right. That's right.
Like you and your wife, shout out to T because she's also very involved in running the business. And I love that, husband and wife that work together. But you guys go out and dine out a lot and do a lot of good.
We do. It's one of the sort of side benefits of being in this business. We started a restaurant partially because we love to eat and love food. So I think when we go on trips, we spend more time figuring out where we want to eat than we spend on what cathedral we're going to or what museum. So that's the first thing we do is lock in the restaurants.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it gives you, I think, a unique perspective because you see how other restaurants are doing things, right. And maybe you do it, maybe you don't. Yeah. I don't know, but I think it's really helpful for your diners. Right? Because you're on the other side, you're seeing what they see, and you have a very good experienced opinion.
Yeah, I mean, part of what we preach here is to see the restaurant through the eyes of the guest, and so that goes from setting up for service every night. You walk the building, make sure that there's not things on the floor, and the bathrooms are clean, and the line's ready. Yeah. But that also goes through, the guest experience at different restaurants for HRW. You want to make them truly feel like they're getting value, that they're getting a good representation of what you do. I'm a big believer, as you know, of really putting out a really compelling menu. I think we have 5 or 6 items in most of the categories. And so really, really want people to come and feel like they got the true Traveler's Table experience, not a watered down version.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it's not surprising that Traveler's Table is always in top 5 donors during Houston Restaurant Weeks, which is an awesome thing. We're so appreciative of your support.
Well, I mean, it's such an amazing, charity, and what you guys do for the Houston community and the food bank is incredible.
Yeah.
So,
well, we appreciate you.
We always want to participate. Yeah.
We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here without y'all. All right, let's go back to the food here at Traveler's Table. They always have one of the fan favorites every year because their dishes are just so photogenic. I mean, they like to be taken. They like their photos taken, Matthew.
Well, there's the old saying, you eat with your eyes first, and certainly, if the food's picture worthy, then people are going to be posting about it and talking about it, and you start salivating before you even put it in your mouth. So
what are we looking at here?
This is one of our brand new dishes as well. This is our seared wagyu tataki. Japanese style beef. We have a yuzu truffle ponzu, the normal things, the tamari and the furikake and the bonito flakes, but something that's kind of unique in there is the truffle snow. That's the little white bits. So that's a truffled tapioca product that kind of adds a little something that you don't expect in there.
Yeah. So we started the show in Peru. We're gonna make sure we know where we're going.
Yes.
Now we're in Japan.
Yeah, we need a world map with like the pins you can put into it.
I'd like to see the dish from Japan. I'd love to try the dish. I don't know where we're going next.
I do want to specify that tataki is raw. It's got a little sear on it, but that is something that's confused some of our guests. So it's got a marinade, and it's like carpaccio. It's sort of like a Japanese carpaccio, I guess you could say. But that is something that's caused some confusion. And
I mean, these dishes are absolutely beautiful, and it's so nice because you really are giving diners a glimpse of possibly something they haven't seen before.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we try to do is we may not try to do the most traditional representation of a dish. We always want to sort of do our version, but we still want to stay true to the spirit of the dish. You're talking about the picture quality. So one of the accolades that really shocked us was last year we were, I guess, one of the top 10 restaurants in the country, according to Yelp, as far as number of pictures taken in the restaurant.
I believe it.
I don't even know, it just came out of nowhere. And
you didn't even know that was an award.
So I guess that's a combination of people getting pictures taken, taking pictures of the food. Yeah, who knew that was even an award?
Well, we do know that Houston is one of the most active cities when it comes to taking pictures of their food on social media. So that's a good thing.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
All right, back to the foodie cam we go. Where are we going? What country? What part of the world are we going, Matthew?
I believe we're going to crab samosas next.
Okay.
So this is not one of our most picturesque dishes, but it is our number one selling item on the entire menu.
Let's go.
And so I think one of the things we kind of do hopefully well here, or I think it speaks to is giving something that people are very familiar with and love, like crab, and then putting it into maybe a little bit different presentation. So usually samosas are vegetarian, maybe there's some meat, but it's usually more of a vegetarian snack from India. We put it with crab meat. Who doesn't love crab, especially in this town? And it's become our bestseller, bar none.
Bestseller.
Yes.
All right.
So one of the things we did was shift strategy, Katie. We had a menu that we put out for the first month. We changed up some items. This is new for the second half of HRW.
Yeah.
Because what we're really hoping is that people who came once and loved it come back because there's new items to try. We don't want people to feel like, oh, I already ate there, I don't need to come again. Or people who were on the fence the first time and now it's extended a whole nother month, so we can have it now. So that's a mango chutney.
Chutney. Okay,
And then a raita, which is kind of I always think of it as an Indian sort of tzatziki sauce.
It's a little kick.
It's got a little
it's a good kick.
Yeah,
it's a really what is the you got to mix it in. What's the mix them both? Okay.
Well, that's a little pro tip. That's a pro tip. My wife has just entered the building off camera, is now coaching us, but that's good.
Listen,
we take the feedback well here.
We are very coachable eaters.
We are.
Okay? We will take all the instruction in the world on eating, especially with dishes like this.
That's right.
I wanted to mention too your wine pairings.
Yes.
That you all are offering along with your menus. These are something that have been very popular.
Yeah.
For the diners, and what helps is, you've got your wine pairings, nice little on here, and this is nice because you're seeing so many new diners, and not all the time do we know, well, what goes with this dish, what goes with that dish, but you guys are making it simple.
Yeah, I wouldn't as much call these as pairings. It's just bottles that we particularly love, and we're able to get to offer a deeper discount than normal in the spirit of HRW.
Sure.
And so it's things that maybe are a little bit higher priced than people normally would get, but since we're celebrating at HRW and we know it goes to a good cause, we've reduced the price to make them a little bit more accessible. So we kind of tried to spread the wealth. We have a true champagne, Perrier Jouet. We have a Sancerre, great Sancerre, which is Sauvignon Blanc from Loire Valley. We have Stabbed Sleep Chardonnay, which is very well known, Napa Chardonnay, Unshackled Cabernet Sauvignon. Probably my favorite of this group is the Penfolds Ben 389. I call it the Baby Grange. The Grange is kind of the most famous wine from Australia. So it's a Cabernet Shiraz mix. Then we have a Barolo and a Left Bank Bordeaux.
I mean, we love this. We've got France, California, Australia, Italy. This is truly just the wines too. Very international.
And same with our cocktails. You know, again, this whole theme of exploring the world through food and drink. So cocktails from around the world. Usually what we try to do is take sort of a traditional dish, or in this case, traditional drink, and then make it our own. So, you know, we have a passion fruit mango mojito. That's right now the best seller.
Oh, that sounds good.
We have a happy wife, happy life, which actually is a funny story.
I saw that. It's literally right here.
Yeah.
Happy wife.
So that's one of our best sellers. That's a charred pineapple margarita. And the funny story is the first trip my wife and I ever took together was to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Mm-hmm. And when we got served by the waiter said, "Oh, you know, kind of almost to say like, you know, bon appetit." He said, "Happy wife, happy life." And I said, I was much young. We were both much younger.
What did the server know that you did it?
Right.
You know?
And I said, "No wife, happy life." So we kind of got this like funny little banter about it.
Oh my gosh.
So flash forward 10 years, we got married in Puerto Vallarta, and my whole wedding speech was about, indeed, happy wife does make a happy life. So, and that served me well now, going on 10 years of marriage.
He was right.
Yes.
And it's right here.
The wisdom of the Puerto Vallarta, you know.
Listen, they know their stuff. All right, let's go back to the foodie cam. We're here at Traveler's Table, one of the top 5 donors every single year during HRW, which means that a lot of people are coming into the restaurant and buying HRW meals.
So we're gonna have some off-camera help here. She's gonna pour the lemongrass galangal broth on it. That's what happens at the table side. So it's got a little action element to the dish. It gives it a nice moist. So this is a northern Thai dish. We call them northern Thai jungle ribs. We actually had this in Chiang Mai. The reason they're called jungle ribs is it can be almost like any meat that they find in the jungle. A lot of times it's like wild boar. It scares me to think the other things that may qualify as jungle ribs
possibly make its way.
But often it is, you know, some kind of pork. And so we do a direct pork rib, which is great. It's one of my favorite dishes. Tons of flavor. And then, of course, it comes with jasmine rice and that pour over.
Oh, I mean, it's outstanding. So what country?
So that's Thailand.
Thailand. So we've done Peru, we've done India, Japan, and Thailand.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
You know what? Also, your menus, your in-restaurant menus, are they still the same?
Yeah. So if you want to hand me one, please.
I'd love to show you guys. Oh.
So the menus.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of faded.
It's like a little travel journal.
Yeah, it's like a travel journal. This one's a little beat up. Here's one a little bit cleaner copy. You can see Traveler's Table. So kind of like a journal that a true traveler would keep of their places. And then it's almost like a little guidebook showing, and there's little quotes in it. In order to write about life, first you must live it. You know, that's Ernest Hemingway.
No, I love it. It's very cute. And then this just is, I mean, it smells. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I can see why you probably put a lot of broth, because people drink it. People, I mean, I would. Yeah. People with these big bowls are drinking it. I absolutely would. This is an outstanding dish. Now, we have some news, right? Yes. You did mention that you guys are opening a new restaurant.
We are.
Congratulations. That's coming up. Tell us all the news.
So we're opening Traveler's Cart. It's a global street food restaurant. So sort of a sister concept. I like to say it's like kids from the same parents, but this is maybe the little bit more upscale one that lives in Manhattan and goes to fancy restaurants. Traveler's Cart's the more backpacker version where you're going to street food markets around the world. So it's gonna be counter service, still, you know, sort of a nice version of counter service because we're still creating an atmosphere. Full bar. We have very cool street cocktails. We definitely want to kind of create a vibe. It's a little hipper, a little edgier, but in many cases, hopefully it's the same guest. It's just that there you're not going to need, you know, valet and a host and a, you know, server. You kind of come in, walk up, lots of parking, order at the counter, food gets brought to you, and we're going to be open a lot more meal times. So we're going to be open lunch through dinner and then late night on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Did you say where?
So it's on Montrose, 1401 Montrose.
Okay.
It was previously a Pronto location, so close to West Gray and Montrose.
Now, this will be lower price points than Traveler's Table.
So roughly half the price point. Right now there's not anything on the menu over $20. So there's street snacks, there's small plates, there's get your green salads, there's eat with your hands, the sort of burgers and tacos and wraps and things, and then there's the market main, so a little bit more full format dishes, kind of pad thai and Indian curries and things like that. So again, this whole theme again of exploring the world through food and drink, but at a little bit more street level. Which so that's one of the things that we were trying to emulate. Really, is my wife T and I, when we travel, it's like we just got back from Taipei, and we literally went from a Michelin-starred restaurant, ate for lunch, and then we went to a night market and ate street food for dinner. So, I love food in lots of different circumstances, and it's all good to me.
Yeah, no, and it's nice because it's also opening up and exposing your dishes and your expert dishes and combinations to possibly a bunch of new diners.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the things that helped us kind of come out of COVID, especially, and HRW was really great for us that year. But this idea of you can almost be like an armchair traveler. So either the experienced travelers who've gone and had these dishes from around the world and then come back and like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could get that in Houston, or the ones who've maybe never gotten to explore the world as much, and they're getting to try dishes for the first time. Yeah,
no, I love that. It's a really amazing concept, and I believe it's really the only concept in Houston that's doing that, which is impressive in and of itself because this is a competitive town. So
it is. We hope it makes us unique.
Back to the foodie cam we go. We've got some more dishes to show y'all that are on the September HRW menu here at Traveler's Table.
So this is our Nigerian suya skewers. So we're actually combining two kind of classic West African dishes. So suya skewers, suya is a peanut, sort of ground peanut, not marinade, but rub that you put on a lot of skewered meats. And then, of course, jollof rice is a staple of their cuisine, where it's kind of a tomato and pepper rice. So we kind of combine the two. It seems like everybody has their own opinion on exactly how jollof rice. We hope we kind of get it right.
What are the opinions? What are the differing opinions?
So from our understanding, and first of all, I want to shout out to our new neighbors who should be coming up. Chop and Block should be opening across the street, so I'm sure there's going to be some competition nearby, but we sort of love that. I think there's different. My understanding is there's different types of jollof rice depending on if you're from Nigeria or different parts of West Africa, and different countries claim the mantle. We've had several chefs who are friends kind of weigh in on this, so we hope we kind of get it right. It's sometimes hard to kind of thread the needle on these traditional dishes because, for instance, like our spicier dishes, if you do Sichuan right, well, it's never spicy enough for the true Sichuan lovers, and it's too spicy for everyone else.
Who hasn't.
It's really hard to kind of like do that balancing act, and so I think
their palates aren't used to everything.
And like a lot of Asian cuisine has a lot of fish sauce and shrimp paste and things like that, and that's too.
That's
my wife.
Who joined the show? Happy wife, T.
Okay. Sometimes.
Oh my god.
A lot of times.
During August and during September, we're happy. Oh, this is an amazing dish.
Yeah, and also a good portion size. Two big skewers, plenty of jollof rice. So again, and then two sauces. So ada dindin is a roasted red pepper sauce. It gives it a little kick, and then a garlic cream sauce, which kind of cools it off. So it's kind of like nice to have two different. A lot of times, as you saw with the crab samosas, we like to do two different sauces that kind of hit different flavor profiles.
Very smart. All right, I'm gonna try this. Here we go. Which one should I go? Which is less spicy?
The less spicy is the cream one.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually very,
really
very tender.
Very tender, very soft. Yeah,
we use beef tenderloin. Yeah, so it's a good quality meat, and it's our best-selling beef dish.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Something that's on your menu year-round.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Back to the foodie cam we go. We've got another few dishes for you guys here at Traveler's Table that are on their Houston Restaurant Weeks menu. You might see some additional dishes that you didn't see in August because they changed up their menu. Gives you a little bit of a glimpse here of some of the newer items that are on.
Yeah, so we switched up two of the entrees. So we brought two of our guest favorites. So one's the butter chicken, And we'd had jerk chicken for the first month, so we switched it up for butter chicken. One of the things I love to do is sort of serve a complete meal when I can. And so for the jerk chicken, for the butter chicken, we've added a cauliflower masala. You have grilled paratha, and of course jasmine rice. So it's a little bit more of a full meal. But this is our Brazilian shrimp moqueca. So this also has a story behind it. My wife and I flew into Rio, and I apparently took a very bold decision to rent a car, which apparently no one has ever done in the country of Brazil.
Oh.
Or at least if you're non-Brazilian, apparently.
Yeah.
And we drove to.
We'll call it ambitious.
Ambitious, and that's part of it. We love to explore and kind of be, masters of our own fate.
Yep.
So we rented a car and drove to a colonial town on the coast called Paraty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I don't speak Portuguese, much less Brazilian Portuguese.
Okay.
And it's about 6-8 hour drive if you don't get completely lost between here and there.
Sure.
So all day trip, finally make it. And then we rolled into town, and they're like, "You drove?" It was almost like we were the first wagon train settlers crossing, to California. And they're like, "I can't believe you made it. How did you make this trip?"
Right.
And so everything was
survived.
Yeah, everything was closing down. We found this little restaurant on the coast that was serving moquecas, a fisherman's stew. A lot of times it's with fish, but we do ours with shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
But the sort of hallmark is using annatto or achiote oil, palm oil often, but that's kind of become a no-no just as far as the environment and also the health. So we use annatto oil, coconut broth, and tomato. So it's one of my favorite dishes.
Love it.
And then that grilled ciabatta kind of gives it something savory. And then there's rice under it as well.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Little bit of a heat, little
That's right.
spice.
That's
Yeah.
right.
No,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I can smell.
Yeah.
Really good dish. Now, a lot of your dishes, we'll go right back to the foodie cam because we've got another dish and we'll talk for a second. But a lot of your dishes are also able to be made vegetarian and vegan, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So usually the ones that don't have a stock, so I can. And so I would say more what we try to do is we try to offer very compelling vegan items in their own right, because I have several friends who are vegans and they're always upset if a restaurant's version of vegan is, we can take the chicken off that, or we can just not
it's
do
not a
something.
dedicated vegan dish.
It's like having non-alcoholic drinks where you just leave the alcohol out of their normal cocktails. So we're really big on paying tribute to truly vegan dishes.
Sure.
And so, for instance, HRW, we have a vegan starter, a vegan entree, and a vegan dessert.
Love that. Yeah.
I don't think I showed any of these here
That's
today.
okay. We see them all over social media because they're very, very popular dishes. There's a glimpse at some of the menu items.
Yeah, so the passion fruit mango mousse, for instance, is phenomenal. I'm not vegan, and so for me to order a vegan dish, the bar is very high.
Yeah.
I order that all the time.
All right,
amazing.
let's go back to the foodie cam. We've got a couple more dishes to show you guys before we wrap up here. Remember also to make your reservations on opentable.com for the weekend.
But we're on Resi.
Or Resi.
Yeah.
Yep. Wherever you can find the restaurant reservation online. All right, what are we looking at here?
So these are our two of our dessert items. These are the burnt Bass cheesecake is new to this second portion of HRW. It's one of our more sort of complex, higher prep items. So we wanted to kind of use it as something to entice people to come back. It's a little bit more elaborate.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, I'm sure you are. You're a foodie, obviously. Burnt Bass cheesecake is kind of something that's become very popular recently. I've learned that there's sort of 3 types of cheesecakes in the world. I'm sure there's more. There's the traditional sort of New York cheesecake, which is very dense. There's Japanese style souffle cheesecake. We had that on our menu last year, and they kind of jiggle because they're really aerated. And then burnt Bass cheesecake.
Ooh,
So Bass cheesecake, you put in.
Let me try that. I'm ready to try that.
So you put this in a super hot oven and you blister the outside, but the inside should be nice and custardy.
Oh, all right. I'm ready for some custard, and I am ready to eat. Make sure you guys check out HoustonRestaurantWeeks.com for all of the restaurants who are extending through the end of September, of course, benefiting the Houston Food Bank and we've got some dishes to eat. We're going to see you guys next time on another episode of Foodies and Friends on Fox 26.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yes.